All right, you savages. I have returned for another episode of my drive here. I don't know if I'm going to keep calling it that or if I'm going to actually call it the cooldown room. I think I'm going to change to call it the cooldown room. So we're going to keep that in mind. I know Rish is a busy man. We were playing some Destiny last night, and the kids woke up at about, I want to say it was like 11:30-ish Central Time. So I don't know what time that is for Rish. I assume it's the same, but 11:30 Cornfield time. So I know he's a busy man making the graphics for me. I bought another piece of hardware here, just like a little voice recorder. I can stash my. Hold up. All right. I bought another piece of hardware I can stash my recording little hardware onto also. So it's got like these wireless lapel mics with windscreens and all this other shit, which is pretty cool. And then I'm going to attach them to this voice recorder. And apparently this voice recorder is pretty nice. People use it for like college lectures and stuff. And then you can play them back, which I've tested, and then you can jam them right into your like your laptop or however you want to upload the information. You can upload it straight on there. So I'm going to test out how that works. We'll see. It won't be as instant as what I was doing, I don't think, because I was just like tossing up unedited videos onto YouTube. This might take an extra little bit of time, but I think it's totally reasonable. And we'll see. If I hate it, I'll just go back to the old method. But it was only like a $100 investment, so that's like whatever. I don't really care about $100. At any rate, I want to talk a little bit about the race and some other things that are going on. If you were with me in Discord last night playing some Destiny, you had like a sneak peek into the the drama from last night. I know people love to use that. So we'll get into like two of our favorite catchphrases, two of my least favorite catchphrases, but two of the league's favorite catchphrases. We'll do drama and we'll do game sucks. All right, so we're gonna break it down into two pieces today. And again, these are like unfiltered thoughts. So if they hurt your feelings, I truly do not care. You're just gonna take what I say at face value. I don't get to script this in my head like I usually do with most answers and things like that. Like when I sit in meetings, I think like, oh damn, the unfiltered Matt's about to come out. And then for me, if you're ever interested in like public speaking, a lot of what I do is like rehearsal. So I rehearse stuff in my brain. Like I know what I'm going to say before I say it. And I say it like 100 times to make sure I don't sound like a complete jackass when I say stuff. At my business meetings, and I do that a lot when I type on Discord, so the words we say matter and the way we say it matters, because people take shit all kinds of different ways. Now, you know how it is, 2024. But this one's more unfiltered. Plus, I'm trying not to die on the interstate, which is another added difficulty level. So, not a big deal for me. I just say what I want to say, and that's totally cool. If you listen, that's great. If not, I also truly do not care. So, with that, let's talk about the drama portion from last night. I'll take you a little bit through the race too, because they kind of go hand in hand. I tell you what, I was not expecting to be second on the starting grid. My qualifying results, I think, have been really good this year. I think I've qualified like almost top 5 for every race. And I have like a different strategy that I'm using, which I won't talk about right now. But I have a different strategy that I've been using for qualifying and things like that. And it's effective for me. Some people have different, you do different strategy. People do different things, whatever it is, or trying to tow teammates or whatever works for you. But I know my strategy personally has been working pretty well. One thing I did want to say is, if you have a screaming child in the background of the qualifying, that's cool, but mute your fucking microphone. This is a thank you in advance from me and the rest of the people who are too scared to say anything. If something bad happens in your qualifying lap, sincerely, shut the fuck up. I don't care that you spun out on turn 1 because you practiced for 36 minutes. I don't care. You're ruining my lap by breaking my concentration, so respectfully, zip it. Put a sock in it. Eat a pickle. I don't care what you do. Do anything else besides talk. That would be great. So I'm going to go back in the race lobby again for the 1 in 2 weeks, but if it's a complete nightmare again, like it was last night, I'm just going to go on the track and do my thing. You guys can figure out if I'm on a hot lap or not. That's on you. You can get the fuck out of the way because the train's coming one way or another. All right, enough of that. I got that off. That PSA is off my chest. So anyone who wants to send me a thank you message on that, go ahead. That's totally fine. I did you a solid on that. All right, so no more cats climbing on shit or anything like that. If you're familiar with the history of the league, that's an Easter egg. So I qualified second, which was crazy. I made up about, and I knew I was gonna just because of my tire situation and how I ran a previous lap, but I made up like 3/10 on the last lap of the qualifying session. My first qualifying lap, and it's not really Pete's fault. I know I said Pete blocked me, but it's not really his fault. If you're familiar with how the pit release works, just kind of like lobs you. You don't get a chance to like slow down and come to like a slow creep on the pit exit. So if I'm coming down the straightaway and you're on the pit exit, I'm just kind of at the mercy of you or the game, and you get to pick whether you stand on your brake or whether you stand on your accelerator to try and get out of the way. And there's really not a great way to get out of the way. So Pete kind of blocked me, but not really like, again, not really Pete's fault. So it's not meant to be like, yeah, Pete blocked me, give him a penalty, because it's not really his fault. Again, you've experienced it. So my first hot lap gets kind of blocked there by Pete, which is unfortunate because I lost several seconds on turn 1, which I'm usually pretty solid at. Oh, exceeding track limits. We'll get to that too. I'm usually pretty fast through sector 1. So anyways, that gets kind of chalked. Whatever. I don't really abandon it because I need to get a lap in. I need to have a bank lap, right, just in case. And especially because there was like a small percentage of rain in the qualifying session, and the last thing I wanted to do was miss out on a lap with soft tires and have to run a lap on intermediates or even wet tires as my qualifying time. That would have been nightmare shit if that would have happened. Then I might have had a real issue. But anyways, I run this banker lap, and it's a fine one, right? I think I was second behind Painter for a while, and then I dropped down to like fourth. I think was the fourth or fifth was the lowest I got in the first round of laps there. So that was pretty cool. I was pretty happy. If you told me I was going to start in the top 5 every race, I would sign up to do that every single night of the week. That was pretty good. I ran my second lap, and I don't remember it completely. I vaguely remember like Real gets disconnected at some point in the qualifying, I believe, and his car is literally in the worst possible spot to be ghosted on. It's stuck on the right-hander in turn 1, so you can't see. I can't see like the lines and stuff. I can't see the curbs because of where his car is on my screen. So I had to adjust my line of vision for stuff like that. My second lap wasn't great, if I remember correctly. And then we get going a little bit, and I am behind. I think I was behind David at one point, and then I saw Barrett was going kind of slow on the track. I think Barrett actually finished a lap after me in my third lap. And I almost wasn't going to take a third lap because I was kind of happy with my performance. And then I saw the splits, and we were like pubic hairs apart. I'm not kidding. Like I think I was like 2,000ths behind David, and I knew I hadn't run my best lap yet, personally. So I thought to myself, damn, I'm going to burn up these last set of soft tires. I don't know. I probably won't use them in the race. It's a hard decision, right? Do you burn up your soft tires and not use them in the race and whatever? But what ultimately pushed me over the edge is like the 90% chance of rain. There's almost 0% chance I'm going to need these soft tires during the race. So that pushed me over the edge as far as taking a third a third hot lap. So I take this third hot lap, and I'm starting to go. And again, this really pisses me off. But people's session ends, so they start talking about bullshit. But I'm literally running a hot lap, and I'm looking at my split, and I run the fastest first sector, purple sector in the first. I'm like 3/10 up on my time, and I'm like, these people, please shut the fuck up. Like, people are racing for something. I know you guys down in 17th and 18th, your race is over already, especially in the rain. But some people are racing for stuff, so you might want to just, again, put a sock in it, all right? Until everyone's got a checkered flag by their name. So I'm running my last lap. I'm like 3/10 up. I try not to look at the split because I'm trying not to hype myself up. You can feel your heart rate start to like come up. And I'm running this thing, and I know that Sector 3 is my kryptonite because I literally, and I'm sure I'm not alone on this, I always take a shit angle on the right-hander that leads into the straightaway, which is arguably the most important exit you need to get on the track to set up the fastest straight on the course. So anyways, I hit that really well, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm actually going to smash my time. I don't know where Pete is, or I don't know where anyone is, because I saw the time starting to come down. Obviously, like, Painter had the fastest lap, I think. And I don't know if David broke it or not. I know Spees broke it at one point, and I'm like, well, fuck, there's no way I'm going to catch Spees this time. And then Pete breaks it towards the end. And I don't know who I'm chasing down. I don't know my split, where I'm at. But I knew that if I was like 2/10 to 3/10 improved, like, I was going to be close to pole position. And I ended up in second behind Pete. So great lap, Pete, on that one. I think we were like less than a tenth separated, which is just insane. That's crazy. Our grid's never been this competitive, guys. I know we like to sugarcoat some shit and whatever, but we've never been this competitive on the grid as far as times go. And there was like the top three, I think, was myself. Maybe it was the top four. Myself, Pete, Spees maybe, and then after that there was like a 2/10 delta between us, or between whatever the breaking point was. And then, and I'm sorry if I didn't give you your depth or whatever, but you'll survive. So it was like a little delta. Actually, you know what? I have my cell phone right here. I can look in my hand now that I don't have this thing attached to it, this contraption attached to it. So I will look and see real quick, as long as I don't run into the back of this X7 in front of me. But I'm kind of a professional driver at this point, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, let's see. So we got a bunch of stuff in the executive chat because they told me don't say anything stupid this morning, which you can't stop me. I have all the power here. So looking at this, so Passy posted this, so thank you, Passy, for this. This is crazy. So yeah, I'm 7 thousandths behind Pete, and then 1 thousandth behind me is David. That's crazy. I ran a 16.879. David ran a 16.889. That's insane. And then, so then there's a big delta between that. Maybe not big, but 3/10 from third to fourth from David to Spees. So sorry, I had that mixed up. So David actually was third on the podium, and then Spees was 3/10 behind us. So pretty crazy the delta on there. So anyways, I start off in second, and I'm telling myself, like, just got to get a good start. Don't run into anybody. Don't do anything stupid in the rain. And it'll probably be mostly a parade through here, because that's kind of how the rain races go. And I think the results would reflect that if we looked at overtakes and things like that. So I have some trouble in turn one. I don't know what it was, but someone behind me, it was really weird watching them, and I got caught looking at my rearview mirror quite a bit. And then David gets around me on the left side from third. He just has second place is a really bad place to be on that track because you're locked to the inside line. And maybe I should have edged over a little bit to make space for myself so that David couldn't box me out on the outside. Maybe I should have done that. I don't know. It's hard to say, but he has a better angle going into the turn, especially in the rain. Holy shit. Your car just doesn't stop and you can't turn. So I'm locked in the inside on the right, and I take a horrible horrible angle. I ended up getting passed by a bunch of people. I think I'm like 6th place or something around there. So yeah, that part really sucked. Going from 2nd to 6th on the start is pretty demoralizing, but it's a long race, and I said that in lap 1. Like so we'll get to this part about the drama part. But Will in the chat is gets bumped in turn 1 by, I don't know, maybe, I think it was Keaton. He was complaining about. So Will's talking about getting hit. His race is over, and blah blah blah. So I'm going to tell you one thing not to do, okay, as a teammate. In lap 1, don't tell your teammate that your race is over because it's lap 1. Okay, there's a lot of time left. There's 30-something laps left in every race we do, right? And especially when we're going to go to full length race. If we go to full length races, I say when, but I'll say if for logistical purposes, right? Words matter. So if we go back to full races, lap 1 is the fucking absolute least of your worries. to put it completely bluntly, right? You lose a wing, whatever, get it fixed. There's plenty of time. There's going to be a safety car eventually at some point, probably, just by the sheer amount of laps that are available. I know there's no safety car last time, but people aren't going fast. It's a survival thing. Slow is fast in the rain. That's just kind of how it works. We get through on lap 1, and again, like I said, Will's complaining about losing a wing, and my race is over, and blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, and I'm trying to like talk this dude off the ledge. So I'm being a hostage negotiator at the same time trying to run my race, which is terrible place to be. So I'm like talking, like, don't worry, buddy, it's a long race. It'll be okay, pal. Like, I'll pump you up for your 14th. Don't worry about it. Like, it's cool. So you don't want to like do that to your teammate. You don't want to put them in a position where they're having to fucking console you. Like, I'm not married. I don't want a wife. I don't want another wife. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to be in the position where you have to console your teammate on turn 1. It is what it is. It's a long race. Just chill out. All right? My piece of advice, free. I'm getting all kinds of free advice tonight. It's my free piece of advice to you. Just let it happen. Let the race go. There's going to be some shit that happens in front of you. People spin out. People do dumb shit. People get 51-second corner cutting penalties, which I'll get to. So anyways, that happens. That's part of the drama, which I'll get to. Race goes on. I end up... David is like slow, and he'll admit that he was slow. David's slow in front of me at one point, and I'm making up infinite time on him, so I know he's slow. We get to a turn, and I just assume that David's going to take it a little bit faster, just based on sheer David's pure speed where he qualified. You know, like I said, right by like a sniff. But he could smell me from the qualifying. So I assumed he was going to take it a little bit faster. Doesn't take it as fast. I'm standing on my brake. Doesn't matter because my car doesn't stop. Obviously, got shitty tires, and he got the rain. So I end up slamming into the back of David. Not really that hard, but I do get an orange front wing. And as you might imagine, 13 laps into the race with an orange wing, you are required to fix the wing when it is raining, especially. So I go in, I pit, I get fresh tires, and I get a new wing and all this stuff, right? I start to make up some time on people, whatever. I'm going. I pick off Hayden. I picked off somebody else. I can't remember who it was. Might have been Passy. Can't remember off the top of my head. And then I get up behind Tyler, and Tyler admits to you that he was not the fastest driver last night. He had some issues as well, I think. And I get to one of the turns, and just how it goes, I hit like a wet patch, and I can't downshift. My car's over revved, and I try and make like an evasive maneuver. And you have a choice, right? You either go and slam into the back of somebody again, and you either ruin their race and your race, or you go off to the right where there's the walls, or you go left and you get a corner cutting thing, which is what I end up doing because I was closest to the left side anyway, so I figured why not. So I go left, and I was ready to accept my fate of a corner cutting penalty. I earned that one. So I completely, speaking of corner cutting, there's me going over the edge here. So I cut the corner completely. in order to avoid Tyler's rear. That sounds cute. So I avoid Tyler's rear wing, and I cut left. I get a 3-second time penalty. Totally reasonable. And I get an illegal overtake, which, again, totally reasonable. I get it. Got to give the position back. And I want to say it gives you like 20 seconds as the start of the countdown to give the position back. So I'm parked on the right side apron, as you might have seen in the clip. Basically parked. I'm kind of like slow crawling. I don't know. I'm probably going like 50 miles per hour, something like that. And I'm waiting for Tyler to pass me by. And I think Tyler kind of understands. Like, Tyler's a smart enough driver to know that like the legal overtake is why I'm parked on the apron, so he can get around me. So Tyler starts to go, and then for whatever reason, it stops the countdown at about 10.5 seconds to get back to position, and it says you've been disqualified for multiple penalties. And my ticker on the left goes from 3 seconds to 51 seconds to 1 minute to whatever it ended up finally being. And the only logical thing that makes sense in my mind, because 51 is divided by 3, I think it's 17. Yeah, 17. So I had the 1 3-second penalty. So what I assume happened is the game glitched or bugged in some sort of way where I was parked on the apron. So it assumed that I was corner cutting more, maybe. And it assessed me 16 additional 3-second penalties. So which, again, 16 plus 1 is 17 times 3 is 51. Quick math for you while I'm driving. I know my calculus. It says U plus me equals us. 51 seconds and time penalties. So I get disqualified, which, you know, I was kind of pissed. But at the same time, I was like kind of also thrilled to be off this shit. The rain track. It feels like there's always something that happens in my race. You know, I got 2 disconnects. I had a crash with Richard. Then I had 1 clean race, I think it was, which was like the sprint, whatever. I think that one was clean for the most part. Which I get 5th or 6th, whatever. And then this happens in the rain. After I qualify second, that's the disappointing part. That's why I was pissed. Not because of the game, I'm more pissed at myself because starting second, you hope to convert a podium there, or at least like a top 5 finish if I know I'm slower, which I'm slower than Spees. I know that. I assume he's going to pass me at some point. So like I was kind of hoping for 3rd place. So anyways, I get disqualified, and again, I'm a little upset, but not converting the second qualifying into any kind of points is the thing that hurts the most. The game fucked me, whatever it is, what it is. I was battling for like 11th or 12th at that point. So my point total wasn't going to be anything crazy, although I think people were starting to pit at that point, which would have been kind of interesting because I was kind of fast back there. I made up like 3 or 4 seconds like on a lap on some people. So I don't know. Again, what could have been, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. So that's my race. Congrats to Spees for the official win. Barrett had a hell of a race. Without that 3-second penalty, he wins. It's crazy to me that the 3-second penalty decided the race, too. It's just insane that we run 30-plus laps and we're within 3 seconds of each other, to me. Because there used to be some runaways. And you're sweating the whole time now. If you want to win a race, your ass is locked in for 30 laps. There's no freebies. There's no layups. There's nothing. You're racing the entire time. And you're strategizing the entire time. There's no way you're winning a race just being out in front by 10 seconds and be like, yeah, I could probably coast the last 2 to 3 laps. Just not happening. Unless there's some humongous catastrophe that happens, which I don't foresee at this point. Just not happening. Maybe that's a symptom of longs instead of fulls. I don't really know the answer to that question. We'll get some data throughout the season, but I don't really know. But what I do know is it's sick to watch a 3-second penalty. And I apologize to Barrett, but it's sick to watch a 3-second penalty actually matter, and that determined the race winner. That's pretty wild stuff to me. All right, so the post game. So that's part 1 of drama. So, and now I'm about to hurt some feelings. So if this is the part where you decide that you are a pretty princess and you got soft feelings, you might want to turn this shit off now. Go get yourself a pizza Lunchable. I don't know. Do you guys? This is a good question. Pizza Lunchable. Do you guys, when you used to eat pizza Lunchables as a kid, and don't act like you didn't, unless you're some Canadian, they don't make Lunchables there. Did you microwave your pizza Lunchables, or were you like me, where you just ate them with the cold cheese and the cold pepperonis on top? I need to know. So if you leave some feedback on that afterwards, that would be very cool. Once again, trying to gather some data collecting here on what kind of masochist or psychopath does not heat up their pizza Lunchables. And also, pizza Lunchables, man, that was like some top tier shit back in the day. I remember eating pizza Lunchables a lot as a kid because they were very cheap. You're talking like, I don't know, maybe $1. I don't know how much they were as a kid, but we were broke as shit when I was a kid. So we had like pizza Lunchables. We ate like a frozen pizza would feed 3 people. We had like hot dogs and mac and cheese, Salisbury steaks. We can talk about poor people shit all day long if you guys want. I'm super down to reminisce on the past and celebrate our successes now as we get, into adulthood or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Salisbury steaks, dude, big fan. That shit sparks all kinds of memories, and I don't know why, but that's the good stuff. All right, anyways, hopefully you've left by now. If you're soft, if you haven't, this is your final warning. I'm going to read you a message that somebody in the executive suite, and I won't name a name, received. Could be me, could be real, could be David. One of us received. Says, and that's all, folks. As I said 30 days ago, I'd give it the first 4 races, excuse me, I'm driving, I'm reading, sorry. I'd give it the first 4 races before I made a decision on the league, and it's been nothing but a month of misery and wasting my time. Why keep racing when your own teammate just bounces out of the voice chat on you? And I did, but I returned. Why race when a front runner, like Eaton, is just going to ruin your race every single time? Good luck with the league, and best wishes. All right. I'll give you guys a second to digest that whole comment. And from there, what I will tell you is some breaking news from Ferrari. Ferrari has mutually agreed to part ways with Sweet William. So now we're on to our third C2 driver. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. Racing for Ferrari is not all sweet. It is, I have high expectations of my teammates, and Austin Real will tell you that. He's been my only other teammate throughout the first several seasons. We have high expectations, but the bar set high. Ferrari as a brand is arguably the largest in F1, and Ferrari has a reputation to uphold, and we're trying to win a championship and all this stuff. We're not trying to be in the bottom 3 teams, man. That's not what I'm about. I don't want to sit in the bottom. I don't want to look at those people behind me and be like, damn, we're at the bottom of the fucking barrel, man. That sucks. We have, top 2, top 3 aspirations every season. If not winning, I want to win. That's my goal. I race to win and to have fun to a lesser extent, but I race to win these races. So again, Ferrari going to mutually agree to part ways with Sweet William. Wish him the best in whatever he does. I know he plays a lot of Forza, so may go back to Forza. I believe he runs a Forza League, so wishing him all the best with that kind of thing. If he ever ends up back in the draft pool for the SNS F1 League, that's totally cool. No hard feelings on my end. But I will say, like, I don't have time to console people during races. I don't have time to separate drama with messages like that. I don't have time to deal with drama about you don't like something on the podcast, which is a totally different thing I'm not going to get into. But if you got a problem with the podcast, do me a favor. Don't fucking listen. That's it. I don't care. It's fine. It's free, dude. It's free for you to tune in. It's free for you to tune the fuck out. That's cool too. I always say this to people when they get on people's like Twitch streams and start complaining. There are thousands of other people. There's more than thousands. That's a low ass number. There's infinite, I will say, more people you can go find on Twitch and watch. You got a problem with the way someone streams a game? Just watch someone else. No one's paying you to be there. You don't have to be there. You don't have to be here. You don't have to listen to my podcast. You don't have to listen to any podcast or any content. You don't have to read any of the shit that we produce in the league. I'm going to take a drink because I'm kind of upset now. Now I'm fired up. I'm primed, baby. By the way, shout out to Prime, my unofficial sponsor. But you don't have to listen to any of the content that we do. You don't have to read it. You don't have to do any of that. I don't care. Just don't shit on it. That's the bottom line. You don't like something, don't shit on it. That's it. Stop yucking people's yum. It's 2024. People want to do all kinds of crazy shit. Whatever. You want to be a furry? Let them be furries. Who cares? I just picked that one out of a hat because there's a dude I'm interviewing today and his last name's Furry. And I kind of thought that might be an interesting thing if he was a furry. Anyways, do whatever you want. Don't yuck people's yum. Chill out. Nobody gives a shit that you're a vanilla-ass white dude. Just relax. People can do all kinds of stuff that doesn't suit your tastes. Relax. Okay? Anyways, Ferrari is recruiting, sort of. Okay? And I personally, I feel like I'm pretty fast this season, so I kind of want to race. But my backup plan is just maybe, if we fade into obscurity, maybe, take another run at it. But I like the grid when it's full. And I'm sure you guys might too. So I kind of want to take like a poll. I have some unfiltered thoughts that went through my head, right? It's like, Passy doesn't really have a teammate. I mean, he has Rish, but Rish has got stuff going on and hasn't had a teammate. So I would have loved to be able to join forces with Passy for a bit. But again, Passy's a team principal, so it doesn't necessarily make sense. It also kind of kills that battle between, I think it's Red Bull and AlphaTauri, which is kind of funny in some respects. Kind of kills that battle, so I don't know if that's really an alternative. It doesn't seem like it's one off the top of my head. Just my gut reaction says no, that's stupid. There was some thoughts. I don't even know. We're reaching out to other people that have raced in the league before. I reached back out to Garrett, and Garrett's probably a no-go, which stinks. I think Luke is one. There's I don't know if there's other people anybody's got interested. I know some people are in other leagues might be able to do some recruiting and things like that. But again, if I don't have a teammate for the rest of the year, that's okay. Like I'm an adult. I'll live. People have raced much longer seasons without teammates. I think Painter did it at one point. I know Painter did it at one point. Some other people have raced without teammates. I think Troy may have at one point as well. So it is what it is. That's it. And I know I'm hard to race with and be around, and that's okay. It's fine. The other alternative I considered was if people said, it's cool, like Matt's not going to be on the grid. We're at 19 now, or 18, I guess. Without having a Ferrari team, we'd have 18 people. Maybe I'd go do commentary on races, because I know people enjoyed that content as well. And I enjoyed doing it, too. But for now, the tentative plan, again, is for me to race. We have the good news is it comes at a decent time. We have 2 weeks to figure it out, right? So if there was ever a good time for someone to spark some shit up in a direct message after a race and get cut by Ferrari, that's kind of this is kind of the best time, right? This is our unofficial mid-season break. I got 2 weeks to figure it out. I'll get with the boys in the executive suite, which we've already been talking about it a lot last night. Probably an hour and a half at least. We tossed around ideas. And if you guys have ideas also, I'm happy to entertain them, because we don't always have all the answers, so we need your input on that. So that's the drama portion of the pod. We did the game sucks part already. I'm probably going to wrap it up here soon, because I'm getting kind of close to work. I'm not that close. I've been going for about 35 minutes, and I usually like to keep them under 45 minutes, because listening to me talk is a lot. We're going to work on the damn podcast. The boys are back. I think Reel's got it settled in. We're going to shoot for around 8 p.m. to do a nice little pod. We're working on an outline and all that good stuff. Man, what else do we want to talk about, guys? I don't know. There's some crazy shit. I know I talked about Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari. There's the Christian Horner thing now, man. It's really bizarre stuff. And I don't know. There's all this speculation, and there's always speculation, right? Horner was you know, sexually aggressive towards somebody, or he's got aggressive management type, or Red Bull's board of directors wants him out because he has too much control. Him and Helmut Marko are feuding, so Marko wants him gone, and there's all this stuff, man. It's just total drama, and who knows what the final outcome is. But I will tell you, if Horner gets bounced, man, that's a huge shakeup because there's unlimited fallout from that. It's not just Horner's just the first domino if he goes, right? He's just the first domino in all of that. So you got to look past the surface on that. Horner goes, that means Marko takes more of a role probably, which is not great in my estimation for Red Bull. I assume Newey's going to leave, and Newey's probably the brightest mind, maybe, and this is probably hyperbole, but maybe the brightest mind in F1 history as far as engineering a vehicle. And with new regs and stuff, someone's going to open up the checkbook, whether it's Mercedes, whether it's Ferrari, McLaren, Aston Martin. Somebody's going to go get this dude, and I think my gut says he wants to stay in F1 and keep developing cars that way. It's like the premier thing for an engineer. So I assume he's going to stick it out, but I don't think he's going to stay with Red Bull if Horner goes. I think they're kind of locked at the hip, and I feel the same way about Max. If Max leaves Red Bull because of the Horner thing, that is huge. And again, I don't know where he would go necessarily if he would continue on F1. I know he's expressed his boredom with the sport and things like that, but I don't think he's finished in F1. I think a lot of that is just to get attention and things like that. But I don't know. Maybe he really will. Maybe he'll go do something else. I don't know what else there would be for Max. Obviously, his ceiling is unlimited. He's, to me, the best driver in the world, so he can go do whatever the hell he wants. He wants to race rally cars, go do that. He wants to go do dirt track late models. I mean, fuck it. Put a Zin in and start ripping them, Max. That'd be good. So I don't know. That thing's supposedly going to be settled on Friday, and we'll have more answers. Man, it's going to be so shocking. I've gone back and forth on this all week, but now my gut says that Horner's out. I don't know. It's so weird to me. Like why now? Is the thing, like why now? Why like 30 days before the season starts? Why is there all this shit coming out about Marko taking on more of a role and the board of directors? Like, where does all this come from? So it makes too much sense to me for him to be canned because of all the stuff that is circulating behind the scenes also now. And it just makes too much sense. Like, there's no way all that shit would come out if he was like locked in, and like all this stuff about like, oh, that people on the board have told him that he should step down. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy. So I don't know, guys. That's a lot of drama. Deliveries, that's another thing. I know there are a lot of carbon fiber and black ones, and whatever, but I don't know. I'm hopeful for the last several to be revealed that are kind of cool. I know I'm going to get their name wrong, so I'm not even going to say it, but there's a livery coming out today, and maybe you can swipe your card for a microtransaction to get a different colored livery on your screen on F1 TV. That'd be kind of sick, right? But they're supposed to release theirs today, I believe, at some point. Ferrari's coming up on close to Valentine's Day, so next week. And there's been like a big old mention of they have different stuff. I assume there's going to be like some white on there, but they really don't go out of the box. Why would they? Their design's iconic. I wouldn't switch that up very much if I was them personally. But anyways, guys, it was good to race this week, I guess. The rain sucked. I find myself laughing because I was like, man, it might be kind of cool to do a rain race at some point. Man, we need some more weather. I think what I really meant was I wanted to rain at some point, and then I wanted to dry out, so there's like some strategy differential. Because full rain, full wets last night was actual misery. That was not the blast. Excuse me, yawning thinking about rain races. It was not the blast I intended for it to be, so that part sucks. But again, it was good to race a little bit. It's always fun to hang out and do some stuff. I know we got some Destiny going on in the background. There's a handful of guys interested in that. We got Zandvoort coming next week, and people are already bitching about that. So we have not set a new record for quickest to complain about next week's track. But I did find it interesting that people are already practicing on Zandvoort. That's cool. And if you're one of the people, excuse me, that is low on points or whatever, or team is low on points, what a great week to start practicing. Because I'm going to tell you something. The top people, they probably won't necessarily start racing this track until about a week out or so, just because that's the normal cadence, right? Why? Yeah, I got plenty of time. Why would I start racing now? But if you start racing now, run some laps on Zandvoort, you're gonna have 2 weeks out to practice. There's no better time. Oh my god! Sorry, guys, it's been a late one. I was up talking shit. But there's no better time than now, this minute after this podcast ends, to start racing there and getting to learn some stuff, trying a bunch of different setups, getting on YouTube, watching a track guide, asking your team principal, asking people in Discord, whoever's going to offer you up some info. There's no better time than right now to start practicing and try and secure some points. It's a huge, huge gap. So that's my advice for the people that are kind of in the mid/back. That's my advice to you. It's free, unsolicited once again. But anyways, guys, I am going to bounce for now. I hope this came through okay. It looks like it's still recording. We're about 41, 42 minutes in. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the end recording button. Thanks again for everybody who takes the time to vote on the over-unders. I know David did a great job posting those up for me. I was in a long-ass business meeting, so thanks for your guys' continued engagement on that. Your engagement on all the pods, all the content, and all the stuff that we produce for the league. Hopefully that stuff makes it worthwhile to stay in here. I certainly find that it does. So remember to let me know about the Lunchables pizza, how you take them, maybe some broke people food. I remember having milk with water and then going to a buddy's house and seeing it with milk for the first time and thinking that was the craziest shit I've ever seen. And let me know, too, about if you got any suggestions about my potential teammates, or if you want to kick me out, make me go to the booth. I'm okay with that, too. Anyways, thanks again, guys, for checking out the Cooldown Room. I'll catch up with you all in Discord. If not, I will see you in Zandvoort in 2 weeks. Peace!